Om. Amen. Om. Amen. May the beloved Spirit of this Christmas season, Lord Jesus Christ, fill our hearts as he filled the heart of St. John of the Cross. May we know the Spirit that said to us, "Be ye perfect, be ye complete," which is, of course, what, if we are to believe his testimony, what St. John of the Cross became. So, how delightful to be with you. Heidi, if you have the book open there, would you like to read They Can Be Like the Sun?
I would like to read it, yes. They can be like a sun. They can be like a sun, words. They can do for the heart what light can for a field. They can be like a sun. They can be like a sun, words. They can do for the heart what light can for a field.
What a gorgeous little homily.
Coming from the words of a poet, right?
Yes. Well, it just seems, his implied instruction is use your words to be like the sun. They can do for the heart what the sun does for a field. Oh, what a lovely thought. Can cause that heart to grow, to bear fruit. Anything else from anyone about this?
I heard this, Brother Shankara. It's words can change the world, which is very true.
Oh, yes.
Very true. Yes.
And there have been words that have changed the world.
That's right.
We were talking about the spirit of this season, Lord Jesus Christ. I mean, the fact that the Emperor Constantine became a Christian and Christianized all of Europe, transformed Europe from a place where life was known to be barbaric and short. It didn't mean that all of that ended, but it certainly did change things. So yes, the words of Christ, and then of course all of his followers. Anything else from anyone about this? Okay. They can do for the heart what light can do for a field. Haima, would you like to read tenderly?
Sure, Brother Shankara. Tenderly, tenderly, I now touch all things, knowing one day we will part. Tenderly, tenderly, I now touch all things, knowing one day we will part. Very true.
Once again,
that's very
just
true.
A little homily about how to regard the things of the world. Don't be attached to them. No, you will part from them. But you can be tender toward them, as we should be. Tenderly I now touch all things. So, two little homilies. Anything else from anyone about this one?
Yeah. I've noticed this more as I get older, but after losing people and animals that I love, it's like you kind of see them now. And sometimes you have that feeling, like you really feel that.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes part of that feeling of love toward that person or critter. And it's a complex thing. It's not a simple thought or feeling. Tenderly, I now touch all things, knowing one day we will part. There's a sadness in it too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, there's definitely a sadness in the words that he wrote here. Yes. Anything else from anyone?
Yes, I also felt a little bit of sadness, like Cindy said. And also just to appreciate what we have while we're here.
Yes. Oh yes.
Infinite, just such a really small leap of time.
Yes.
That we're here. And so don't just, the tenderly, I can just, see him touching, I don't know, the plants or the whatever it is. I
Yes.
can just see that tenderness as he's perhaps sitting in the woods, talking to that rabbit or something,
Mhm. Yes.
I can just see him doing that. So,
And it becomes as you and Cindy seem to agree, it becomes a way of being with the things in the world. It rather than just a thought that occurs from time to time. It's a way of being with the things in the world. This tenderness, this deep appreciation of their sacredness, even as you know that as you just pointed out so aptly, Heidi, we're just here for a blip. We're just, our leader Sri Ramakrishna said, a human life is of only 2 days duration, trying to give us an idea how short in cosmic time a human life is.
There's sometimes when we read these, they remind us of other poems, and this one calls up one of my absolute favorite songs in the world. It's called "Calling All Angels" by a woman named Jane Siberry, who's Canadian actually, and there's a part of it that just I can't hear it to this day without this part of it without it making me cry, but it's kind of in the middle of it, and it says, "But if you could, do you think you would trade it all the pain and suffering? Ah, but then you'd miss the beauty of the light upon this earth and the sweetness of the leaving."
Yes.
It's that last line that just gets me, and that's what this poem makes me feel too. This I
Yes.
touch all things, knowing one day we will part. This is kind of like Swamiji, you know, falling in love with human beings. It's that same kind of feeling, that same kind of like, I don't really want to be here. This isn't my place, but I've fallen in love with these human beings. And
Yes. For Heidi's sake, Swamiji is Swami Vivekananda, who is the saint. We regard him as a saint. He was one of the three principal disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. The other two were his wife, Sri Sharda Devi, and their spiritual son, not physical son, but their spiritual son, Swami Brahmananda. Swami Vivekananda brought the teachings of our tradition to this country in 1893, and he's greatly revered. The cyclonic monk. But in San Francisco, he was camping in a park near San Francisco. He loved to camp. And he was with some devotees, and he said rather offhandedly, well, it looks like I'll have to come back. And one of the devotees who was with him said, well, Swamiji, that was how he was known affectionately as Swamiji. Swamiji, you were told by Sri Ramakrishna that once you realized who you truly were, you were free to go. And he said, yes, but I have fallen in love with these human beings. And it's a lovely story. Swayam, this next one is a rather longer poem. Dig here, the angel said. Would you care to read that one?
Sure, Brother Shankara. But if you start hearing noises in the background, just let me know, because my mother-in-law is having like a spell and Naveen is trying to talk her down. So,
Oh my.
but I'll read. Hopefully there won't be disturbance. Dig here, the angel said. She caught me off guard when my soul said to me, have we met? So surprised I was to hear her speak like that. I chuckled. She began to sing a tale. There was once a hardworking man who used to worry so much because he could not feed and clothe his children and wife the way he wanted. There was a beautiful little chapel in the village where the man lived, and one day while he was praying, an angel appeared. The angel said, follow me. And he did out into an ancient forest. Now dig here, the angel said. And the man felt strength in his limbs he had not known since youth. And with just his bare hands, he dug deep and found a lost treasure. And his relationship with the world changed. Finding our soul's beauty does that, gives us tremendous freedom from worry. Dig here, the angel said, in your soul, in your soul. Dig here, the angel said. She caught me off guard when my soul said to me, have we met? So surprised I was to hear her speak like that. I chuckled. She began to sing a tale. There was once a hardworking man who used to worry so much because he could not feed and clothe his children and wife the way he wanted. There was a beautiful little chapel in the village where the man lived. And one day, while he was praying, an angel appeared. The angel said, follow me. And he did out into an ancient forest. Now dig here, the angel said. And the man felt strength in his limbs he had not known since youth. And with just his bare hands, he dug deep and found a lost treasure. And his relationship with the world changed. Finding our soul's beauty does that, gives us tremendous freedom from worry. Dig here, the angel said, in your soul, in your soul.
So we go from a homily to a sermon.
I think it summarizes the concept of going inwards and surrendering. That is the only way to become worry-free.
Yes. Very well said. I love the way it starts. She caught me off guard when my soul said to me, "Have we met?" So surprised I was to hear her speak like that, I chuckled. Notice the gender of the soul. The soul is regarded in mystical Christian tradition as feminine. Our soul, all of our souls. And if you remember the story of Mirabai, when she goes to the temple in the place that was holy to Sri Krishna, Vrindavan, and the gate guard won't let her in because she's a woman. And so she asks to see the head priest. And she says this to him simply: "Are not all souls female before God?" And the story goes, and it's said to be a true story. How would we know? But it's said to be a true story that the priest bowed to her, took her by the hand, and led her into the temple. So the nature of us all, the divine nature of us all, is feminine. In the Judeo-Christian tradition, the word is Shekinah. Shekinah. That's the Holy Ghost. And the primary meaning of the word Shekinah is sacred wisdom. So it's our soul that would sing a song like this: "There was once," and so on. And I love the soul's "Come hither" line. Have we met? That's one used in bars by people who want to get to know one another, men to women especially. Have we met? Anything else from anybody? That's my rambling reaction to this lovely poem.
Brother Shankara, I just wanted to say that I never cease to be amazed at the depth and breadth of your knowledge. I had heard a YouTube speech by a rabbi where he had mentioned this Shekinah, and it just came to me when you said it. But thank you. I mean, it's amazing to connect all these pieces.
Well, when you've been hanging out with the people that I've been hanging out with since 1973, you learn all kinds of things, and you're encouraged to learn all kinds of things. It's no real surprise, and it certainly isn't any credit to me. It's a credit to them. If there's any credit that my fall on these shoulders is that I've just hung out with them all the time and been in their company. Which is, just do the same. Just hang out with. This is what's meant by holy company. And we're certainly, here we are, 6 of us. We are that holy company just now. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma. She began to sing a tale. There was once a hard-working man who used to worry so much because he could not feed and clothe his children the way he wanted. In other words, he didn't want anything for himself, but he wanted to be able to take care of them better. And so he did such things as pray. There was a beautiful little chapel in the village where the man lived, and one day while he was praying, I mean, it's said so casually, one day while he was praying, it was nothing unusual for him today. An angel appeared. Now remember, this is his soul singing to him. The angel said, "Follow me." And he did, out into an ancient forest, the ancient forest of our being. "Now dig here," the angel said. And the man felt strength in his limbs he had not known since youth. And with just his bare hands, in other words, we don't need any tools. All that is secondary details, as Vivekananda said. And with just his bare hands, he dug deep and found a lost treasure. And his relationship with the world changed. Finding our soul's beauty does that. Gives us tremendous freedom from worry. Our soul's beauty, that's the lost treasure. That beautiful feminine being at our core. Finding our soul's beauty does that. Gives us tremendous freedom from worry. Dig here, the angel said, in your soul, in your soul. I mean, there are a lot of beautiful poems in this book. I don't think there's one more beautiful than this one. Anything else from anyone?
Extremely straightforward poem, Brother Shankara. So clear how we can unveil our soul to liberate ourselves.
Yes.
Described so beautifully.
Dig here.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else from anyone? Aaron, we haven't heard from you this evening. Is there anything you'd like to pipe up and say? It's not a demand, just an invitation.
Not anything about anything particular or what we've been talking about, but I'm enjoying hearing hearing everybody's thoughts.
Good. Well, so good to have you with us. Heidi, anything from you about this one? Again, just an invitation.
Yeah, I think you guys, a lot has been covered. It is a beautiful poem. I would kind of be repeating what has already been said, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
Well, wonderful. Thank you.
So, and I also enjoy hearing what everyone has to say and contribute to. So,
Yes. Cindy, have you got the book open in front of you? Would you like to read to those songs?
Brother Shankara, the only thing I wanted to add was the digging deep is similar to what Sri Ramakrishna says. Instead
yes.
of digging so many shallow, just dig deep.
Right, exactly. Dig deep and you'll find the treasure. And the more you dig, the more you have the strength to dig deeper. Very well said, Swayam. Very well said. Anything else since Swayam made that contribution? Okay.
Okay, to those songs, your body is a divine stream, as is your spirit. When your two great rivers merge, one voice is found, and the earth applauds in excitement. Shrines are erected to those songs. The hand and heart have sung as they served the world. With a love we cherish. To those songs. Your body is a divine stream, as is your spirit. When your two great rivers merge, one voice is found, and the earth applauds in excitement. Shrines are erected to those songs the hand and heart have sung, as they served the world with a love we cherish. Well, of course I love this poem.
Of course you do. It's about love, shining peace, and other songs you've written.
Yes, but it's also, I mean, singers who have been studying their singing voice and singing, trying to sing better all their lives. I had a lot of periods where I felt like there was just this little wall I couldn't get past with just vocal, you can call it technique. But I knew it wasn't about technique. I knew it was something else. And it was, for me, this sort of integration of my physical being and the part of that that sings, that produces sound to sing, and the more subtle parts of my being.
Mm-hmm.
And just even like lately, like the past few weeks, I've like kind of felt like I've like broken through that wall, and maybe nobody else would hear it if I sang. They say, "Oh, that's Cindy singing," but I feel it, and it's so this, yeah, it's like the two rivers merging.
And that he metaphorizes them in various ways, but I really like it when he gets to the hand and the heart. This is the definition of the artist. The heart, the inspiration comes through the heart. The craft comes through the hands.
Mm-hmm.
And when those two rivers merge, the voice is found, and the earth applauds in excitement, and shrines are erected to those songs. The hand and heart have sung as they served the world. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Anything else from anyone?
Yeah, that first line, I see that as the two streams merging also. you know, the body being the physical and the
Mhm.
spirit, you know, being the divine. I see that as, you know, like you said, the hand and the heart.
Right.
So that's another metaphor there I see.
Yes, indeed. And this is one of those poems that just lifts us right up out of our ordinariness into the soul's beauty.
The earth applauds in excitement.
Yeah.
That's a great line.
And if you want to just see this happen, just go and watch Gustavo Dudamel conduct the fifth movement of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the Ode to Joy. When that concludes, the audience is just beside itself with joy and excitement. I mean, and there's nothing perfunctory, there's nothing routine about it. They're just over the moon. He and the orchestra have just transported them, and of course Beethoven have transported them into that joy that you know, the Ode to Joy has, you know, not only the orchestra but a female chorus and a male chorus and soloists, and I mean that fifth movement is just astounding. And this is what, you know, when it's applauds and excitement, he has that performance has just lifted them up.
Have you all ever seen this video? It's been around for a while, but it's a little 2-year-old boy who's in a room with some adults mostly, and they're listening to a live recital of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. And the reaction of this little 2-year-old, this little toddler, I mean, he's just getting so emotional and he starts crying, but it's not crying like the little toddler who's starting to cry for the usual reasons. It's clear. It's this music is just touching him so much.
Ooh,
I mean,
if you have a link to that, Cindy, please send it.
I do. I will, let me find a better one than this. Okay. Where's the YouTube of it? It's really, really amazing.
Can you post it as a link in the chat for us so everyone can maybe
That's
see
what
it?
I'm gonna do. I'm gonna to
Yeah, but I won't know how to access that, so please email it to me.
I will. Okay.
How are we doing for time?
Facebook. Let's see if I can find it on.
Oh, it's still early. 8:36.
Oh, I'm having trouble. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. I'm gonna paste it in the chat for everybody else, and then I'll just send it to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm not good at the chat stuff either. How do you access that? You just copy and paste that to find it, or is that what
Can you see where I posted it in the
I
chat?
can?
All you
Yes.
have to do is click on it.
Yeah, but what if this thing goes away? You got to do it now, right?
It won't go away. The Zoom won't go away.
No, I'm saying if I have to do it
Oh,
now.
right, yeah.
Right, yeah. And I
Yeah.
would copy it. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
you,
Heidi, she's emailing it to me.
Okay.
I'll email it to you.
Okay. I need an email to me too. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, yeah, okay, that's
Yeah,
the
we
way
can-
we'll handle it.
yeah. And I also wanted to say about this poem that it's not just about music at all.
Oh,
I
no.
mean, it's about our divine expression, whatever that is,
Mhm.
whether it's, you know, singing a song, um, caring for somebody or raising a child or whatever it is.
Or as Rabia said, I tried painting, but I like slicing potatoes.
Slice of potatoes, right? And
But doing it so
doing it, yes, doing it in this way that where you're integrated like that.
right.
And it just changes it. Slicing potatoes suddenly becomes way more wonderful of a thing to do than painting or singing or whatever.
But
It's just,
go ahead, I'm
no,
sorry.
you go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, you know, since we are an embodiment of the divine, and as John O'Donoghue, that wonderful Irish poet and writer, says, if the divine is anything, he is the great artist, the great creative source. And since we're an embodiment of that, we are an embodiment of that divine, the soul of ours is that, then let her rip, you know, just let her rip and be creative. Just whether it's making haystacks or whether it's my sister brought over some really delicious turkey with penne soup today. You know, just there's any number of ways to just let that creativity just flow out of you and share your just a little side note. Cindy knows that the gas has been off here in the monastery since yesterday because the gas company was fixing a major gas line outside in the street. And when they reconnected our gas line, they mistakenly connected a water line instead. So our water meter for the monastery was full of water.
That what happened? Because I
Yes.
knew that it had gotten full of water, but I didn't know why.
Because they, instead of connecting a gas line to it, they'd connected a water line to it.
Oh my gosh.
And the
People
reason
are
I bring,
crazy.
well, you know, they were really tired at the end of the day.
I
They'd
know.
started at 5 o'clock in the morning and it was 9 o'clock and they were wrapping it up. So the reason I bring it up is I hear them reconnecting the meter outside now. I can hear them putting it back together. And when the young man came from the gas company today and disconnected that meter, he said, I've never seen anything like this. It was just full of water. And of course, thank God the meter had prevented it from passing it on to the appliances.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. So they've been working out there since this afternoon to get us reconnected to the gas. So that's one of the reasons I'm so bundled up here tonight with this hat on and everything, because it's cold here in the monastery. It's down in the,
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Yeah.
there's warm and hot water and heat in the retreat residence.
Yeah.
So
so I haven't been without the necessary hot water to do my health thing,
yeah.
but because that has an electric water heater, the retreat residence. Anyway, I just wanted to tell Cindy that while I was hearing it. It was just such a joy for me to hear them reconnecting the meter out there.
It's
So
kind of
I'll
like,
have,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead, Heidi.
It's like the snowstorm, you know, when they put power out with no snow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, it was certainly a surprise. I was standing there watching the young man, his name was Eric from the gas company, when Eric took that meter loose and the water began to pour out. And he was absolutely flummoxed. He said, I've never seen anything like this. And the reason, of course, is that they had, instead of connecting of gas line to our gas meter. They had connected a water line under the street. So bless them, you know, they'd started work yesterday morning at 5 a.m. at Sunday morning. So,
And bless your heart for enduring that.
well, thank you, dear. Oh, I spent for freaking ever on hold with Georgia Natural Gas today before I finally got through to somebody who could say I'll send somebody out. And it was really quite an experience. I don't think I've ever spent that much time on hold. So here's a very appropriate poem.
Brother Shankara?
Yes, dear.
Coming back to the previous poem, I just wanted to make a comment that the sooner the hand and the heart learn to sing together as they serve the world, I think more joyous life will become.
Yes.
And yesterday I was outside at night and I noticed a twinkling star. And that nursery rhyme just had a whole new meaning. And I, the awe, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Yes.
Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. As a child, we just used to rote memory and recite. But yesterday, it suddenly just kind of, amazed me. And same thing with the row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is just a dream. And had no idea what that meant when we were learning it as kids. But,
yeah, we know it now. And you can see why the poet wrote Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or the songwriter wrote Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I think it was actually a song. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Anyway, here's a poem about peace. Quiet yourself. Reach out with your mind's skillful hand. Let go inside. Let go inside of me and touch God. Don't be shy, dear. Every aspect of light we are meant to know. The calm hand holds more than baskets of goods from the market. The calm soul knows more than anything this world can offer from her beautiful womb, which is the last of the poems of St. John of the Cross. Peace. Quiet yourself. Reach out with your mind's skillful hand. Let it go inside of me and touch God. Don't be shy, dear. Every aspect of light we are meant to know. The calm hand holds more than baskets of good from the market. The calm soul knows more than anything this world can offer from her beautiful womb. Well, what a beautiful summary of his truths. Anything else from anyone about this one?
I see this, Brother Shankara. It's a whole poem can be put into meditation, then you can see your God inside. The whole thing is condensed. Quiet yourself, touch God. That's exactly what we have been trying on this path of spirituality. Yes. To do this. It's just beautiful. It's really a beautiful poem. So wonderfully described. Thank you, Brother Shankara.
And notice he doesn't set aside the physical and say there's anything wrong with the physical. Reach out with your mind's skillful hand. Let it go inside of me and touch God. Don't be shy, dear. Every aspect of light we are meant to know. The calm hand holds more than baskets of good from the market. Good baskets of good from the market. The calm soul knows more than anything this world can offer from her beautiful womb.
Brother Shankar, I have a question.
Yes, dear.
So the second line says, reach out with your mind skillful hand. And then the next one says, let it go inside of me and touch God. So is he offering himself or his experience for us to grasp?
Yes, remember, he no longer, oh, there's somebody at the door. Hang on just a moment. You all talk about this. I'll be right there. I think they're telling me it's all done. Yes. Say it again,
Hey,
please.
I'm sorry. Pulling out of gas line?
Yes.
I was stopping to get the gas back on. I had built the weed set back for it. I
Yes.
just need to come in and get that gas.
He's going to sleep well tonight, huh? With heat.
I'm right on you. And I like to bless all of you for working so hard to get this done.
Yeah, no problem. We're gonna get that gas going for you, okay?
Well, I guess while we're waiting for him, my mother-in-law has dementia, so she forgot that, my husband is her son. So she suddenly felt like her son hasn't been to see her for a long time, and she was crying that, where is he? Why is he not coming to see me? And who are you? And so that's why she was having that crying fit, and then he had to go and try to calm her down.
Oh, no. Yeah,
Really, it's hard.
it is very difficult.
It is one of the most
When they
challenging
lose-
things.
Yes, when they lose
facing.
memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I got that air pocket hit, so right now we're trying to go get air pocket, okay? There we go. See, air pocket gone now. Gas. We got all gas now. Well, let that fry, we're gonna get some hot water. See if we can get the water, he can wake up, okay?
And I'm just kind of noticing and putting together here about in this poem piece, of course, just the word, the title evokes, the calming effect. The calm soul knows more than anything this world can offer from her beautiful womb. And then that poem, Dig Here, the angel said, just talking about finding our soul's beauty gives us tremendous freedom from worry. I don't know, like how he's kind of putting them together about, not sure what I'm trying to say, but I see a connection there, a through line. Does anyone else see that?
I do see that. Dig here, the angel said, in your soul, in your soul.
Right.
Right? That's what you're
Yeah.
saying, exactly.
Yes.
Through calming ourselves, you can touch with your mind's hand. In other words, with your mind's intellect or whatever you call it. So you can see God, you touch God. That's what we've been reading in Vedanta. Meditation leads to find God within you. That's the path which he described. That's what I understood.
Yeah, And then you just don't worry, you're more, it doesn't mean your troubles just go away, but I mean, Shankara could have been really upset what happened and, called them all kinds of names,
That's right. He was very calm and
Maybe he thought of doing that. I don't know. But, but it
he
just,
didn't do
I
it.
think you can just, deal with a lot of life situations so much better when you
Exactly.
you're more calm, you're more focused, all of that. So
You accept the reality as it is, and you won't react to it. You just respond to it. This is the way it is.
right.
Nothing can be done until they come back again. Even if I can scream and pull my hair, I can blame them, but nothing will happen. So instead of blaming them, he took the better route of peaceful route, which is understanding. Okay, people do make mistakes sometimes. That's what he took. I
Oh,
could
look
see
how
that.
long hours they worked, I mean,
Exactly. Whole day.
yes, yesterday was cold today. It was warmer today, but still, I
He
had
was
a, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry, I was.
No, I was just gonna say I had a crew in front of my yard while I'm doing my yoga. I look out my bedroom and there's this, I don't know, AT&T truck, and they were redoing some of the power lines, and on my whole street. And I'm like kind of watching them, and I like to just see how things work. So I was curious to see what they were doing, but I'm like, oh no, don't. My first thought was like, don't disconnect anything, and I think they were just stringing some new power lines, but
Are you
my
on
head,
Henderson?
huh?
Are you on Henderson?
I am not. I'm on Midvale Road.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was having trouble with my internet today, and especially tonight, and I kept resetting my modem because that usually fixes it, and it wasn't. And I finally called Comcast right before class, and I got that automated thing, but it said, "Oh, we see that there's trouble outside of your house with your something, whatever, with my internet." And they're saying, I mean, this is an automated thing. It's saying, we need to send somebody out to your house. And I'm like, well, I didn't do anything. I mean, what could possibly be wrong outside of my house? And I'm wondering if AT&T was.
I don't know. They can have trouble all over the place, I mean,
I hardly ever, I mean, I've had Comcast for decades.
I
And
have it
maybe
too.
I'm just lucky, but I never have, really major trouble with it. And I have really fast service. So this is weird.
Yeah, I haven't had it that long, but I haven't had many problems.
Yeah.
But like in our front yard, like several blocks down, they put those, little yellow flags to mark
Mhm.
where I guess the gas line is or something. So
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna dig. I thought, oh, and those little flags in the yard have been there over a month or so. And I'm like, oh, great. A week before Christmas, now they're gonna start digging or something, but that's not what they did. So,
Well,
but DeKalb can be notorious for messing things up. I mean, honestly, they really can.
oh, I know.
I wasn't gonna go there, but so you look so warm and snuggly there, Cindy. Oh, I want to just wrap up with you. Laura needs one of those.
I was worried about him last night. He was totally calm about the cold. And I said, well, I've got another space heater. He had a space heater in his bedroom.
Okay,
And
see,
I said, I can bring another space heater up there. And he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I have plenty of blankets. So, and he said today that he had been fine last night. But I did tell him I said, he had forgotten that there was electric water heater and electric heat in the retreat residence. And Joe is not there right now. So he's been going in there and using the bathroom in there. And I said, you can just go in there and sleep. And he's like, no, I'm fine in my bed.
he wants his bed. And I have a space heater. It's a Duraflame too, electric one, and it looks like a fireplace.
Oh,
when you
neat.
turn it on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was going to offer him if he didn't get it back on tonight to run it over there or something, but and you shut doors or whatever, if you don't have a big open space, those little heaters can really get you toasty, you know?
Yeah, they sure can. Yeah.
So that's kind of how we do with supplemental heat, you know, so.
Yeah.
But we have a fireplace too, a wood burning stove, so that's what we do when the power does go out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or an oven if you have a gas, well, if you have gas, that wouldn't have worked, but lighting an oven's always a good thing to do to get some heat in your house too, but temporarily.
I think they excuse me. I think they dragged him outside or something.
Oh, I'm helping him with the thermostat.
Oh.
He can hear us, yeah. Well, tell him hello from us.
I was going to say that I like to use my space heater even when my heat is on because I like the warm air blowing in my face.
Yeah.
I have one in my bathroom because I don't want to turn the heat up in the whole house, but I get really cold in there. So it's interesting, Swam, that you mentioned Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and Row, Row, Row Your Boat, because those, of course, are songs that, you know, all of us learned as kids. And Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, I heard this young man, his name is Sam Hart. He did a little recording of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. He plays the guitar and he sings it for, I think he did it for his daughter, his little girl, but it's not the same melody. It's the same words, not the same melody. And it's so beautiful. And I started singing it, his version of it. And I also put a little bit of Row, Row, Row Your Boat in a song that I wrote, but I just took little bits of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. But it's a very serious song. So,
So how
yes,
do we
yes.
search YouTube for, you have a YouTube channel separate or how do we?
I do have a YouTube, yeah.
So I just go to Cindy.
Yeah, I have, let's see, I just recently, I think it was yesterday, oops, updated it. I can share the link. There it is. Can you see things in the chat if I post it in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's see there.
Well, Tori from the gas company already got the stove working and the water heater working. He's working on the furnace now. He's
Wow.
blowing air, but it's not blowing hot yet. So I'll just sit down with you guys until he tells me what to do next.
Well, it's 9:01.
Oh, is it 9:01 already?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're at the end. We got to the end of this.
Yeah. Now then, this will be the last class for this year
Okay.
of this group.
Okay.
It's the 13th now, so it'll be the 20th when we meet. And that's getting too close to Christmas.
I think so too, yeah.
And so we'll take up Tukaram after the first of the year.
All right.
And
Perfect.
Yeah.
so it's just been a delight being with you this past year, really and truly. And so may the rest of these holy days be a blessing to you May it be. There he comes. You got to go on, Tori?
Good to go. All right.
I love it.
Give it a
Love
little while to be warming up.
it. All right.
Thank you for getting everything back together for our friend.
Oh,
Thank
no
you,
problem.
thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
No problem. My pleasure.
This is a Monday night reading and discussion group about a book of poems called Love Poems from God.
Oh, okay.
It's an amazing book.
Right.
And we just had our last class for the year.
Okay. Well, you have a good one, okay?
Tori,
Yes, sir.
again, please tell your amigos out there
Oh,
how much this is.
And real quick, you know, you guys, the row, row, row your boat.
Yeah.
When the pandemic first hit, they said, you know how wash your hands, wash your hands. That was one of the songs. They said, wash your hands, sing row, row, row your boat twice.
Right. I
And
didn't
then
hear that. I heard about
happy birthday, right?
birthday. I got sick of singing happy birthdays.
Sing that one twice, but row, row, row your boat. So I would switch off. We took a lot of car trips when I was a young girl, and that was one we sang with an aunt, my sister and I, and an aunt and uncle. They would just, you know, all
Yeah.
kinds of really neat songs
Yeah.
going down the road, you know,
Right.
but that was one of them.
What a nice young man named Tori. And he says he's got it going. Let me see if it's blowing hot air out of here. Oh, yes, it is. Woo-hoo! Oh, that feels good.
A Christmas miracle.
Well, you know, I wish we could say it was a miracle. It's a miracle that that it got done. But those guys have been here since about 4 o'clock this afternoon, 4:30, working to fix what the guys made a mistake on when they fixed it last. You know, they'd done this work. They started at 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, and they worked all day long. So they just made a mistake when they came to the end of the day, and it took these guys a long time to fix it. They've been here since 4 o'clock, and now it's 9 o'clock, so 5 hours, and there's been quite a crew out there. It wasn't just Tori. There have been, you know, and they're big machines and all that stuff. So
Good
Glad
work.
you will have some heat tonight. I'm glad, Brother Shankar.
heat and hot water
Hot water, heat.
and the stove. You know, this was so funny. Yesterday, we had Sister Eleanor Francis from the Episcopalian community of St. John Baptist. She's a nun, an Episcopalian nun, and she gave us a talk on St. Teresa of Avila. Heidi, if you want to hear that talk, it's really a very good talk. You can go to our YouTube channel. Cindy's already got it up for us. This is a long-time nun. She's really a remarkable woman. I've known her since the 80s. And so she was visiting her sister here and offered to give us this talk on St. Teresa of Avila. And it was a very good talk. But I had promised them, she was visiting her sister Marie, and I had said, stay for lunch and I'll make us potato leek soup, which is a nice fall soup. You know, it's a rich fall soup. And so I'd gotten all the vegetables cut and was just about ready to start sauteing them when the gas went off. So,
Terrible.
the gas, they needed to turn it off, of course, to do what they were doing out there on the street or in the street. But, you know, it was just, the timing was just incredible. I literally just set the pot on the stove. I turned on the burner, and it's one of those electronic ignition gas ranges. Click, 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 and nothing. Just air coming out of the burner. So anyway, we had a nice lunch anyway. We went and got some, for those of you who know it, Matthew's Cafeteria. We went to Matthew's Cafeteria and got lunch. But What a good talk she gave.
That
But we didn't have potato leek soup.
It's, by the way, it's not,
talk was, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the talk isn't up yet. I mean, it's processing. It's usually done by now. I don't know why it's taking so long. I just went to the channel, but it'll be up in the morning. It's processing. It's already up, but you can't see it yet.
I was going to say that the talk was just wonderful. I mean, if that's the best word I can. She related so well to the audience.
Yes.
So, I mean, she's definitely remarkable. And Brother Shankara, Naveen and I have tasted your potato leek soup. So she did miss something very good. So she ought to come back for that at least.
Well, you know, she's probably on her way home by now. But when the next time she's in town, I will definitely make potato leek soup. And I'm gonna, since it's all cut and ready to go, I'm gonna make it tomorrow anyway and have it for the next few days. Big pot of potato leek soup. So, all right then, dears. It's so nice we had this time together. And since this is the last time we'll meet as the Monday group until after the first of the year, the happiest of holy days, the merriest of Christmases, and joyous, joyous, joyous times with your loved ones. This time of year is meant for that. So until then, and Heidi, I'll be in touch with you. There are a couple of reasons to be in touch with you. One of which is to send that link that Cindy is sending.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
And anybody else want me to send them the link? And I have I have all your email addresses. So anybody else? Okay. Well, I will send it to Heidi right away because I know Cindy's already sent it to me. As soon as we're off the meeting here, I'll flang it your way, dear.
Thank you so much. And
Oh, I have a joke. I'll end this little session with y'all with a joke. There was this healing evangelical preacher, and he did the call, and all these people came up for him to lay hands on, and they were all having wonderful healing experiences. And this one woman came up, and she was all bent over, and she had this terrible back problems and so on. So he laid his hands on her, heal, heal, heal. And she stood up straight and then just fainted dead away. And the people around him, the other parishioners, started to lift her up, and he says, "No, you just leave her where Jesus flying her." I don't know why I find that so funny.
I think it's funny too. Well, it's
You
especially,
just leave her where Jesus flying her. So there you are. We'll just be where Jesus flangs us for the rest of this year. And so
Merry Christmas, everybody.
yes.
happy
Merry Christmas.
holidays.
Merry Christmas, happy winter solstice.
Yes.
Oh,
Very wish. Are we meeting tomorrow, Brother Shankara?
yes.
Okay, then we still have,
No,
not Wednesday. No more Wednesdays, right?
tomorrow will be the last Tuesday meeting.
Tomorrow will be the last Tuesday. That's right. Until January the 3rd,
Right, exactly.
first Monday. Okay.
I will miss you all, but I'll see you in January.
All right,
Wish
well,
you Merry Christmas.
you're not going to be able to miss me entirely, Heidi, because I'm going to.
Well, not you entirely, but the rest of the gang.
Yes.
I'm going to invite you over.
Okay,
So,
wonderful. Oh, hey, and here's a tip I have to send out to everybody. Okay, you will love this, Shankara. Sprouts is having their buy one, get one free sale.
Yeah.
Wow, yet up here. And guess what's on sale?
What?
Bengal spiced tea.
Ooh, wow. All right.
Buy one, get one free. And I couldn't find it. It was on the bottom of the shelf. I'm looking all the teas. Guess what? It was like halfway. I had to reach halfway back, and I thought either Cindy or Shankar has been here, and they've been in the tea.
Not so, but I'm
so.
glad to know that. So because
Yeah.
we will go get some.
Yeah, I got me 2 boxes. So
All
okay.
right.
All right.
Good
Merry,
night,
merry,
all.
ho ho ho.
Merry, merry, ho, 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 indeed. And don't let anybody sing that song about Santa Claus is coming to town to your children. That song is poison.
Is it? Okay. I have to listen to the words again.
Oh, it's full of threats, and you know that's what these poets, every one of them say. Anytime you get those threats, somebody's misusing their power. So
Yeah, you got to be good. And, yeah, all that. Yeah.
yeah, you better watch out. You better
gotta
not
earn it.
cry.
You gotta
You
earn it.
better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh, aren't I supposed to love the spirit of Christmas, not fear him? All right. Anyway, that's my little sermonette.
All right.
I'm gonna do a talk next year on the fearful songs of Christmas for children.
And just real quick too, like a lot of the cartoons for children, like the
yeah.
Roadrunner, that is I had an uncle who loved the Roadrunner. So, I lived with him and my aunt for a while. And so I would always watch that, but that's a very violent cartoon.
Yeah, well, those cartoons were not really for children. They were for cynical adults.
They are very violent. So
I mean, children don't have any idea what the Acme company means, that it means all those horrible purveyors of violent things.
maybe I was the odd child that watched it, but I was like,
Oh,
wow.
no, lots of children watched it.
Yeah. So.
Same thing was true of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Rocky and Bullwinkle really wasn't for children at all.
I watched that before going to school every morning. Way to start your day, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Boris and Natasha,
Yeah, I know it.
the Badanovs.
Right. Okay.
Boris
Bye, everyone.
Badanovs. Bye, all. Good night.